Okay, welcome. I'm Dave Elliott. I'm the only Googler you're going to see on the stage up here, so you're going to hear from some great companies. I work in our developer relations organization, and I work with software developers that are looking to instill or infuse their applications with machine learning. So I don't work with data scientists or data engineers per se, but I work with just sort of run-of-the-mill stack developers. So let me give you a little bit of context, and then I'm going to hand it off to our fantastic customer speakers here. So some context. What we call these building blocks at Google is infrastructure for software developers to be able to build AI into your apps. And why do we do this? Well, sort of the addressable market, the people who could actually benefit from AI, is much, much bigger than just the 10,000 deep learning researchers that you might find in universities. And it's bigger than the 2 million or so ML experts, the folks that know something about machine learning and AI, but maybe aren't there's only 2 million of them in a world of 7 billion people. It's what we're really focusing on here is the 23 million software developers. That's really the opportunity, I think, to build and to create some leverage using AI. And to some extent, the 100 million business users or analysts. This is our portfolio. This is really hard to look at. I don't have time to go over this, but what I will focus on is at the bottom, there's a platform, and you'll probably see this in a lot of other AI sections. If you were in the keynote, I think there was some version of this that was presented. You've got platform on the bottom, building blocks in the middle, and then across the top you've got whole services. So in the middle here, you've got these building blocks, APIs, and AutoMLs, and across sort of left to right, site, language, conversation, and structured data. We announced the structured data today. So with that, I want to hand this off to our first speaker. Well, let me give you a quick snippet of what you're going to see. Dialogflow chatbot from the US Postal Service, Fox Sports using AutoML tables for structured data, and then Precise Software using AutoML Vision. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Dewayne Whitfield with the US Postal Service, who's going to walk through prototyping with Dialogflow chatbots.
Thanks, Dave. Let me start by saying it's an honor to present to you today. About 8 months at USPS, I began a journey to explore how I could create amazing AI experiences. Today, I'm going to share with you how I did it and also give you some tips on how you can reproduce this in your organization. A few years ago, USPS established 4 strategic goals. We call them future-ready goals. The first is to deliver a world-class customer experience. At USPS, we deliver mail to over 300 million Americans at least 6 days a week. Every citizen deserves an excellent mail customer experience. The second is to equip, empower, and engage employees. USPS employs over 500,000 employees across the nation. It's important that these employees have the best tools to do their job. The third is to innovate faster to deliver value. In today's business environment, speed is key. We are innovating faster than ever before. And the fourth is to invest in our future platforms. It's important to meet customers where they are. Invest in these platforms help us win. So the question I ask, how might we leverage AI technologies to prototype world-class customer experiences? So to explore this, I use Dialogflow Enterprise for these 3 reasons. First, it has strong documentation. Google did a great job in adding application tutorials to help you learn. Also on YouTube, there's over 200 videos that help you learn Dialogflow. The second is integration. Dialogflow is available on SMS. You can do it on Google speakers. You can also do it in browser and many other channels. The third and most important is easy to use. The best part about Dialogflow is that you don't have to code as much. It's GUI based. And also, since Dialogflow was made by Google, it plays well in the GCP environment. So here are the steps that I took for to build prototypes at USPS. The first thing is I learned Dialogflow through the tutorials and also looking at the YouTube videos. The second is I met with business owners to understand their problems and also to their goals and priorities. The third is I built and presented prototypes based on those problems and challenges. And the fourth is I worked with shareholders to actually build out formal requirements to create production level projects. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the prototypes I built. So these two documents is the IMM-DMM, which stands for the International Mailer's Manual and the Domestic Mailer's Manual. Together, these documents are over 2,000 pages. So you could see how hard it may be to learn to do certain things at USPS. But I see this as an opportunity for us to create virtual agents to help our customers understand how to do business with us. Now, with the DMM and IMM, it contains information on USPS products, like priority mail, media mail, things of that nature. Domestic shipping policies, like, how can you hold your mail? Also, too, like, how can you forward your mail? And also international shipping. So with international shipping, like, if I wanted to send my laptop to Paris, how would you do that? If I wanted to send gold coins to Australia, how can you do that? Questions like that. So in the first prototype, I worked with International in the contact center. So International wanted to find a way to help customers with overseas shipping questions. The contact center wanted to deflect calls from live agents in the IVR. So the business value for the smart postal assistants is that it provides answers to questions quickly. And for the prototype, I used the Google Home speaker and also used telephony integration in Dialogflow. Let me demo it for you. Hey, Google, talk to my test app.
All right, here's the test version of my postal app. Hello, I'm your smart postal assistant. How can I be of assistance to you today?
How do I change my address?
A change of address request can be temporary or permanent. Both options can be requested and completed online at USPS.com or by filling out a PS Form 3575 at your local post office.
How do I hold my mail?
USPS offers 3 ways to set your mail up to be held. Would you prefer to set it up online, over the phone with a representative, or in your local post office?
In my local post office.
You can file a PS Form 8076 authorization to hold mail form at your local post office.
Thank you.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
The next prototype I built was a smart postal kiosk. So with the smart postal kiosk, I worked with the retail team to actually build this. The retail team was interested in an AI solution that was accessible to everyone. The audio-only smart postal assistant of the speaker would not work well for everyone, which we needed to change. So to accomplish this, we used the rich response feature of Dialogflow. Rich response allows you to use images with your virtual agent responses. I built this prototype on a smart display to simulate a kiosk in our lobby. Let me demo it for you. Hey, Google, talk to my test app.
All right, here's the test version of my postal app. Hello, I'm your smart postal assistant. How can I be of assistance to you today?
Can you tell me about certified mail?
Certified mail is a service that provides proof of mailing via a receipt to the sender.
Can you tell me about extra services?
Certified Mail offers the following extra services: hard copy return receipts, electronic return receipts. Certified Mail restricted delivery, adult signature, and adult signature restricted delivery.
The third prototype we built was the small business onboarding virtual agent. The third stakeholder I worked with was small business. The small business team wanted to find a way to increase the awareness of USPS small business products. We only have about 150 small business development specialists in the entire United States. So sometimes there is a slight delay with connecting to new customers and onboarding them. So we decided that we would create a virtual agent-powered onboarding solution for the new small business customers. I built this prototype with the telephony integration with Dialogflow. So now that I've told you about my prototyping journey, I want to give you 3 tips that you can use for the journey in your companies. So partner with a champion. It's so important that you work closely with internal stakeholders to do this. So here's how you can do it. Be a problem solver, not a problem causer. Don't give them more work. Work with them on their priorities and their projects, not your own. Build prototypes quickly. In Dialogflow, you can build a prototype in a day or 2. Demo often. I would demo at staff meetings, team stand-ups, in hallways, everywhere. I even demoed at the Christmas party. The more you demo, the more people will hear about your work, and they will reach out to you. Me personally, I consider myself a servant technologist. So I pride myself in working with my team members to actually help them build out technology to help solve their business problems. Use the telephony integration. You can't be everywhere with your stakeholders. So the telephony integration of Dialogflow allows you to assign a Google Voice number to your virtual agent so that anyone can call your virtual agent to demo it. Also, once you actually help them with developing the virtual agent, stick with them and help them write the production level requirements so that you could see your demo happen. Demoing is pretty easy in Dialogflow, and that's a great thing because executives don't have a lot of time. So today I'm going to show you that you could do a demo in Dialogflow in less than 45 seconds. Talk to my test app.
All right, here's the test version of my postal app. Hello, I'm your smart postal assistant. How can I be of assistance to you today?
How do I change my address?
A change of address request can be temporary or permanent. Both options can be requested and completed online at USPS.com or by filling out a PS Form 3575 at your local post office.
Also, run design sprints. Transition of business units data from legacy channels so virtual agents can be quite tricky. So at USPS, I've used AI design sprints to make that happen. An AI design sprint is a 2 to 3 day experience where we transition a business unit's information into dialogue intents. So first, what you want to do, you want to identify the business data, you want to organize the business data, then you want to rank the data points, and then choose your top intents to build. Once you've chosen your top intents, you want to interview SMEs to get more details about how those intents are structured and how they work. The third step is you want to create paper prototypes so that you save time and you build out on paper first to make sure it makes sense for customers and SMEs. The fourth step is to build actual Dialogflow prototypes to test out with your customers. I thank you for the opportunity to present to you guys today, and good luck in your prototyping journeys.
I'm going to go ahead and hand this to Dr. Liu, whose demo does not have sound, but Dr. Liu's done some pretty incredible stuff with AutoML Vision.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, actually, I'm the lucky guy. My video doesn't have sound. I'm the sound. So my name is Xin Liu. I came from Precise Software Solutions, and today I'm going to talk about our experience of using Google ML Vision to do the PO recognition. So before we get started, let me ask you a question. How many of you is taking medications today? Can you please raise your hand? Great. It's about the same rate. So yeah, so for the records, there are 187 million people or Americans taking medications every day. So it's pretty much equals to 58% of the population. And for all the prescribed drugs, every year there are 110 million prescribed drugs has never been picked up. And 50% of the people, they don't take the prescribed drugs on time or using the wrong dosage or even take the wrong drug. So as a result, there are 125,000 people died because of that. So you can see there's a huge gap between the healthcare provider and the patients. So we believe the inaction or wrong actions taken from the patients actually waste a lot, not only the money but the life. It's a broken link between the healthcare provider and the patients. So we believe if we provide enough information, the adequate information to the patients to help the patients to understand their actions to their health, so we'll help the patients to take drugs on time, to take the medications correct way. So we developed this application. It's called the PureSafe. So PureSafe is using multiple cutting-edge technologies, including cloud, DevOps, mobile applications, and of course, we're using Google ML for machine learning platform. So this solution provides multiple functionalities. For example, we provide the functionality for the patients to manage their medication schedule. So they can use this app to add the drugs to their medications and schedule it. So when it's the time to take the medications, the app will send the notifications to the patients to take the medication. And also, we provide 360-degree view of the drug, including the drug description, the possible adverse event they're expecting, and also, if there's any drug interactions within the patient's drug list, we provide those kind of interaction information. And also, if there's a recall message or a post-marketing black box message, we'll provide it to the patient. So this platform is not just a one-way communication. It's not just push the data from our system to the patient, but also we collect the data from the patient. Of course, the PI information has been taken care, so the patient doesn't have to worry about their personal information has been pushed to the back end. But we take those kind of informations, which is provided by the patients. When they take medication, they record their activities, right? So if they have a side effect when they take a drug, for example, if they got a fever, they got a headache, so they can use this mobile application to record their activities. So those information will send over to our backend, and we use machine learning to process it to try to find the patterns when they take the medication. So if we find the signals, the real signals, we will consolidate it and send over to the regulatory partners. In this case, it's the FDA. So FDA provide a channel for the healthcare providers to submit an adverse event to FDA for further processing. But if the patients use our platform, the information will deliver to FDA directly instead of going through the healthcare facility. And also we provide much more information, including the clinical trial, generic drug information to cut the cost, and also provide the therapeutic group information for alternative healthcare. And also we have developed this capability to connect with the social medium so the patients can connect to the other patients who is taking the same drug to share their experience. And also, one of the major functions we developed is called the PO recognition. So we want to give the patient an easier way to find the drug information instead of doing the drug search. So the patient can use their mobile phone to take a picture of the drug, And we will provide information around this drug, including the drug description, adverse event, possible recall information, and so on. And also, when we find this drug, our system will ping the NIH library to get the drug interaction information down to the chemical reaction level. So we have a very tight partnership with NIH. So when we take the image, if the image is now recorded in NIH library, we'll send those images over to NIH for further sharing with other parties. So using the AutoML platform to do the image recognition is very straightforward. Pretty much everybody can do it. So the process is start with prepare the data set, which is the image we got from the NIH. So that data set actually covers 8,000 images of the drug on the market. And then we use one platform, which is a Google AutoML platform, to do the model training, deployment, and serve. So because we are using mobile application to do the drug image recognition, so the interaction between the mobile application and the Google platform is through the REST over JSON. So this is a very high level, how do we train this module, right? So again, it starts from the data collection. As I said, we get the data set, it's about 8,000 images from the NIH library, and we do the data relabeling, and then we do the data augmentation to replenish that image from NIH. Then we pass the data onto the Google platform to do the data model training. Then we start using it. So after we collect the image data from NIH, the first step is to do the image labeling. You can see here, on the left-hand side is the image name we get from NIH. You can clearly see it's not a machine learning training module friendly. So the first step, we have to relabel the images. On the right-hand side is an example of after relabeling. The name is a combination of the index with the RxCOI number. By the way, RxCOI is a unique number to identify the drugs. So after relabeling, the next step is to do the image augmentation. You can see on the top, that is a sample image we got from NIH. You can see for each drug, we have two images associated with that. One is the front side, and the other one is the back side. So to unique identify a drug, it has to have 4 elements. It's size, color, shape, and the imprint. You can see from the back side of the image, it doesn't have the imprint, so it doesn't help to do the machine learning training. So the first step for image augmentation is to do the cropping. So we have to crop the image, keep the front side. The next step is to rotate the image because the image comes from us is horizontal. So when patients take image, it doesn't always align with horizontal, so we have to rotate it. So we developed the algorithm to automatically rotate the image with the 360 degree. So after rotate, we do the zoom in, zoom out activity. So this one is to get different focus level, so for more accurate prediction. So after image augmentation, the result is we convert one image to 150 images. So the next step is to use the Google platform, AutoML platform. So actually, it's a very simple platform. It's a very user-friendly. The only thing we need to do is to upload your image to the platform, and of course, click a button to train your model. So after you train your model, so you can start testing your model using either the image from the original image site or using the image you capture from your mobile application. So if you use the image from the image site, training site, the prediction rate is very high. It's about 97%. If you take from the mobile applications, it's about 70%, which is adequate for us to do the prediction. So here's a small demo of the application. So in this demo, you can see how do we take a picture of the image and automatically identify the pill. Then we get the information about this pill. Then we can demo how do we add the medications to the regular schedule. So this is a medication list. So normally people have multiple drugs on that. So in this app, you have the options to do the drug name search. You type in this one, it automatically populate the drug name. You can select from there, or you can click the camera icon on the top corner. So you can take an image of that pill. So this time we're going to zoom in. You can see the imprint is on the pill, so it will improve the prediction rate here. And you have the options to retake the image or use this image for prediction. So the performance is very fast, I would say. It's take like less than 2 seconds. So after we identify this pill, we populate the information associated with this pill with the original image from NIH and also the description, the possible drug interaction information associated with this one, and recall information if there's any. So then next step, you have the options to add this drug to your drug list. So you can schedule it. You can get a warning message if it is a time for you to take the medication. So because the successful usage of AutoML vision platform, actually we're going to extend our capability using the other options from Google, including the Google natural language processing and also Google AutoML translation. So one of the cases is we have the idea of taking the Twitter feed, so we can use NLP to process the Twitter feed to find the drug interaction information, to extract the information from the Twitter feed, and also get the user experience from Twitter feed. And we have the plan to do the drug labeling mining. Actually, there are a lot of information associated with this drug in the drug labeling information. We are trying to find the correlations among the drug description, dosage, usage, and the possible adverse event. And we're going to extend our capability of image recognition. Right now, you realize we can only recognize one pill with one image. So we're in the process of trying to figure out how to use one image to identify multiple pills. And also, we have the plan to translate. Right now, the application is only available for English version. We have a plan to use a Google AutoML translation to translate to the language the patient is familiar with. So we have a lot of plans associated with this platform. We pretty much has 20 backlogs. Actually, each backlog can convert it to one product. So it's a lot of efforts. So here I'm trying to quote from Jeff Kennedy. So we're choosing this path. It's not because it is easy, but because it is hard. So I'm inviting all of you, if you have passion about using the high technology to help to improve the patient experience, please join us. Thank you. Back to Dave.
Awesome. Thank you. That's such a great use case. We were talking over dinner last night, and I think there's something like 8,000 pills that had to be imaged, and 125,000 people die a year just in the U.S. So it's a great use case. I'd like to invite you all to come down to the show floor and see AutoML Vision in person. So you can get more information about it. It's really easy to use, as Dr. Liu suggested, and it's really quite a fantastic use case. Let's move on to the last one. So what we have here is Fox Sports Australia, and we have Chris Pocock and Jack Smyth, who are going to walk through, hopefully, a fantastic use case with a video.
Did you just jinx us? Hopefully with video. Cool, so g'day. My name's Chris Pocock. I look after marketing at Fox Sports Australia. The privileged position of getting paid money to talk about sports all day is quite cool. I'd also love to introduce Jack Smyth. He is our genius head of innovation from our partner agency, Mindshare. So you'll be hearing a little bit from him later on about how we brought a little thing called Monty to life. So the slides you're seeing over here, they're just an outline of some of the sports that we broadcast at Fox Sports in Australia. It being Australia, we don't do things the same way as other countries. We've looked at football, like European football, soccer, American football, and gone, nah, we don't like it that way. We're going to do Australian rules football. So one of the major sports across the winter. We also have rugby union, rugby league, and motorsport. Bearing in mind, we're from upside down, so our summer is December. We had a bit of a gap. And last year, we signed up the rights for the Australian cricket team. Huge deal. They say in Australia, the second most important job in the country is the Prime Minister. The most important is the captain of the Australian cricket team. So a big deal. So cricket had been available on free-to-air television since the dawn of time. So by moving it onto subscription TV, we had to build an experience like never before to really kind of build that sort of fan engagement and make it worth paying for. And that is what we promised. So I'm also conscious of where I'm standing and what country I'm in. So the game of cricket, you may not be familiar with it. Sometimes we play it for 5 days and nobody wins. That kind of blows a few people's minds. But it is an exciting game. It does explode into action. And it is an ideal game for structured data. There are so many data points within the game. Types of ball bowled, whether it's spin or fast. How long has a batsman been at the crease? Is he the first batsman or the last batsman? What time of day is it? What's the weather like? What field position has the captain set up? And about 80 other data points that we can feed into AutoML tables to actually build out what Monty is. So he's a supervised classification model. We trained him to learn the game of cricket. So fed in a year's worth of cricket data and allowed him to learn how the game works. He's a world first. He is an automated machine learning model commentator. So I'm going to let him tell his story in his own words, and please be sound. No sound. There are words, so I think we'll keep rolling.
Yes, yes!
right, perfect. Hi everyone, my name is Jack. I work in Mindshare, which is the agency that created Monty for Fox Sports. If we can just move to the next slide. There we go. Our first stop was to find a world-class data provider, and we chose Optus Sports. They track 83 unique variables for every single ball, and that data is available in seconds, almost as soon as it leaves the bowler's hand. So we could find a training set and set up a live feed that could keep pace with the game. So once we had our infrastructure set up, we could start experimenting with AutoML tables. And I have to say, the first impressions were striking. The speed and simplicity of this product really puts it in a class of its own. We ingested a year's worth of game data, simply selected wickets as the outcome we were looking to predict, and within hours, we were seeing impressive results. To be completely honest as well, some of the team even thought Monty had to be cheating, because the early results were simply so good. Thankfully, those doubts dissipated as we went through further training. So tables allows us to calibrate a model that can keep pace with live sport and the action on the pitch itself. And we chose a classification model, so we could not only look at when a wicket would fall, but how. So this is what the final output looked like. This is what the endpoint would return. And it's a real example from a recent cricket game. It's England versus West Indies. You can see at the top there is analysis of the latest ball, and then it breaks out the confidence scores for all of the different ways you could lose a wicket. Here, the batsman's safe for at least the next 5 minutes, but you can see there's a growing risk that he will be caught. Now, this became addictive to watch this come in real time. It almost became a game in itself. And as we were confident with the accuracy we were seeing during testing, we knew that Monty was ready for the main stage. Now, as Australians, we don't really believe in soft launches. So we chose the biggest, most iconic moment in the Australian sporting calendar to launch Monty. It's called the Boxing Day Test. Now, it's equal parts World Series, World Cup, and Super Bowl. Millions of Australians were waiting for that first ball on Boxing Day. And Monty's predictions would be live, from push notifications in the Fox Cricket app, all the way through to pre-roll. Do you want to know how he went? He absolutely smashed it. We were delighted with his performance during the Boxing Day Test. With millions of fans watching, tables came through when it counted most. Ads just like, that's not the actual slide. Well, this is going to be interesting. All right, no one could predict this. I don't actually know what this is going, but I'll keep on moving through it. So he absolutely smashed it. That slide, if it was there, would have said it was 87% accuracy, which is phenomenal for live sport. And if you think about it, even the plays that he missed became highlights in their own right, because that proved that a bowler had come out of nowhere, that literally beaten the odds to take that wicket. And that meant it was an extraordinary play in its own right. We scaled Monty to become essentially the command center for our entire campaign. So there would be live digital billboards, as you saw in the video, that could call back for the latest prediction. We had bid management through Google Ads. So depending on his confidence, we'd pay a certain amount for an ad impression. We used Google Studio for dynamic creative templates. And we had on-demand commentary through Google Assistant itself. And I have to say, for me personally, Google Assistant was a real highlight of this campaign, because we combined the predictive power of AutoML tables with the personalization of Google Assistant. And that allowed us to offer every fan their very own individual on-demand commentator. You could ask Fox Cricket for Monty's call, he'd return a result, you could understand how he was making those predictions, and of course get the latest team news. And for me, that's more than marketing. That's a new product experience and an entirely new way to watch live sport, both on the screen and with your own personal commentator, with an incredible superhuman insight into the game. So when we finish the season, you look back on a scorecard like this, and the impact of AutoML tables was clear. There was a 150% improvement in marketing ROI through featuring those predictions in our media and our messaging. Brand recall for Fox Sports doubled, and app engagement with the Fox Cricket app was 140% that of category averages, thanks to Monty's predictions. So with that in mind, I'll hand back to Chris, who'll be able to talk you through where Monty's going next.
Thanks, Jack. So that was just the start of our journey. We dipped our toe in the water last summer, and it produced some pretty damn amazing results. So it's got all of us really, really excited. So we want to look forward. Yeah, Monty will live on next summer, but we also want to look at what can he do for other sports. So we're starting to look at man versus machine. We have a panel of expert commentators. What do they think the scores are going to be for our Australian rules football games, for our rugby games? Can they beat Monty? We want to integrate into our broadcast. So allow our cricket commentators to warn fans live on air, don't go to the bathroom, a wicket's going to come up in a few minutes, stick around. So again, kind of getting that 360 experience built. Fantasy, it kind of feels like an ideal fit for fantasy products. So we also run a product called Supercoach, which is similar to for the NFL, I assume. You'll build your weekly team, and the players will get points dependent on how they perform. So we're going to get Monty to build his ultimate team based on structured data. Can it beat the average punter? Can it beat the experts? We're going to try it and find out. So look, the world is our oyster for Monty. We're going to keep on developing. We love the experience, and so I want to say thank you to Dave and Team Google for setting us up and bringing two guys over from Australia to share our story. So thank you.
All right, thank you. That was great. AutoML tables, for those of you, we didn't explicitly say this, was announced today. So it's a new AutoML. It's AutoML that lets you look at structured data. So come on down to the booth again, and we have AutoML tables demo happening there. So I'm going to wrap it up by again thanking our speakers. You guys did a fantastic job, so thank you. One last round of applause for them. And we will be out in the hallway if anybody needs to talk to us. I understand there's a quick turn on this room, so thanks for coming.